So I'm basically from Ahmedabad, India. My marriage was in February and my exam was in March. Like it was very difficult for me to start talking. Thankfully, I had
Even out of 100 people listening to this conversation, even if 2 people get inspired and they, work towards their dream, our job is done. Hi, Dr. Bhagyashree. First of all, many, many congratulations to you and thank you for taking out your time. I know how elated, how happy you are, and believe me, more than you, it's me. I feel that joy as well that you may be feeling right now, because all of us who've been in this Australian Dental Council exam preparation, who have gone through it and who have successfully cleared the examinations, we know how much that small little word pass means to us, isn't it? How are you feeling?
Yeah. First of all, when I saw the result, I couldn't believe it. So I just checked it again and again. And I made sure, and afterwards only I called you like, okay, right now it's clear.
I know it's a disbelief as well, right? You feel like, is it really true? I mean, am I seeing the same result or the right result? But look, I've known you for 2 years, I think longer than that. And I know your journey, and I know what an inspirational journey you've had, Bhagyashree. And let me take the advantage of calling you by your name. You are a doctor for sure, but you're also like my colleague, my whatever I can say. So I do want to take this privilege of calling you by your name. So I want the viewers to know, to get inspired. There are so many people out there who want that motivation, who are looking for inspiration. So, and you're the right person to give them that.
Also, there is not much information provided to the people who are overseas and they want to come here, they want to pursue this exam, but it's not much shown on the internet and something like that. So this kind of session will be very important for them and helpful as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we're aiming for. So yeah, let's get right into it. Tell everyone a bit about yourself. Like, when did you graduate, and a bit about yourself. Yeah, where are you from?
So I'm basically from Ahmedabad, India. So I did my graduation over there only, GDC Ahmedabad. So it was a government college, and once I graduated in 2021. After that, I started practicing in private clinics as an associate dentist, so that I have that, the practical skills and I have that experience to treat patients. I wanted to pursue masters. I did give NEET as well, but because of that rankings and category things, I couldn't make into the government college, and I couldn't go to private one because they are way too expensive for me. So then I shifted my mind towards practical practice, dental practice, clinical. So yeah, I was doing that for around 2 years, but for the girls, like after marriage and everything, things change suddenly. So first, my husband wanted to come here, because his profession is more the studies for masters and everything are very good over here. So first of all, I said no, I don't want to change my thing and everything, because it's I'm coming out of my comfort zone. So I didn't wanted to do that. But so 1 year we continued whatever we were doing. But after 1 year again he insisted, and I was like, okay, I cannot hold on to him, because there are more opportunities over here for him as well. So I cannot do that. So he did his masters over here. He came before me for 1 year, and I started searching on to what is ADC, how do we practice as dentists over here, because I didn't want it to. Obviously, we don't want to change our profession.
So I'm sorry to interrupt you, but before you came here, you hadn't thought about ADC till that point of time? Oh, wow.
Once our marriage thing was settled, at the time only I was searching what I can do in the Australia and whatnot. So I googled. No, I think searching in YouTube, and I came across one webinar over there. I saw you at the time, first time, and it was some other channel, not yours. So I couldn't find the name, but you mentioned some ADC aspirants. So I thought, let me just like search about it. So I searched in the YouTube, I couldn't find. Then I searched in Instagram, there I find it. So I remember I messaged you first, and then you sent me the email thing, and we had a chat on call. So at the time, my initial assessment was also pending. So I go through all that like documentation thing, and my marriage was in February and my exam was in March. Like I booked just at that time, and I know like we talked in January, like I have to go through the mocks and everything, but I didn't have time because I was working full time as well at that time, like in the clinic back in India. So it was very hard for me to attend lectures. Honestly, I didn't attend it much, but I know whatever like I attended the orientation and everything, the go through of like the whatever like PDFs you were sharing in the groups and those scenario based questions in the group. That was my key. Like whatever question comes into the group today, I will make sure I will do those things, and whatever like the books you recommended, I make sure before going to sleep I was going through that for the part 1 because I didn't had much time. So I was doing that, and when I had my exam before that, like during that 1 month after my marriage and before my exam, I made sure I go through all the mocks and also the past papers as you recommended.
Absolutely, yeah. We are going to, come to that aspect of your preparation, which is the written part, which was the first part. But coming back to where you're from and the journey you've had from a government college in India to Australia now, it's been a huge change, I'm sure. And people think that, you're going to get married, you're going to settle abroad, it's going to be, life is going to be rosy. It's going to be a bed of roses and all of that. No, it's not that. And I'm sure you can, vouch for that as well, because it's so difficult. Like you said, you were comfortable back in India, but then you made this switch for your partner and you knew that it was the right calling for him as well. And you guys worked as a team together. We will come to that. Now, when you thought of the ADC exams and you did your research, and I'm glad that you bumped into our ADC aspirants and everything, what was the motivation behind it? Did you ever think of switching careers, or were you always motivated that I have to do this in Australia?
No, I have never thought of like changing my profession. I didn't want to do that because when I was doing dental practice back in India, I love my job over there. So I didn't wanted to change that. That's why I was doing research, like what can I do to practice as dentist in Australia.
That's good. That's good. Like you had one goal in your mind. You did not divert yourself from that. You did not think of other things. Well, I tell everyone, to all the viewers who are listening as well, that it's good to have backup plans. But if you want to be, if you want to manifest only and only that you're going to be a dentist in Australia, so it's better to just start thinking like that from day one rather than getting diverted.
I would say we have to stick to one thing, then only we can.
Exactly. Yeah, it makes sense. Now, yes, you did start talking about how your journey was, how you found us, what you started doing. We'll go into a bit of a detail because it's not easy when you're getting married and then you've got your exam just a month later. I want you to talk about how did you manage your time, what was going on in your mind, and like you said, you practice the scenario-based questions every day. And we know that things get more tougher by every passing year, but even at that time it wasn't easy. So how did you manage your time? Let's talk about part 1 preparation only for now.
So basically during my part 1, I was working full time, but we had a 2-hour gap in between. So in those 2-hour lunch break time, I was going through whatever PDFs you gave me. I do not recall the materials, the book's name, but I was going through that so that my basics are clear. Like whatever subjects at the end, we are practicing the general dentist, we should be sound with our basics. And thankfully, the clinic where I was working over there as well, whatever patients we were treating, that is also very helpful. I would say if you are practicing preparing for part 1 as well, do not skip your job or I have to study. If you can work part-time as well, that is also fine, because your working will help you
Absolutely. This is one thing we talk about so many times, that actually when you're at the clinic, whether you're doing a nursing job, which is an assistant job here, or if you're working as a part-time dentist or in your country, or a full-time dentist, every patient is like a learning work in progress. It's a learning experience. Every small little x-ray you see is also a study that you're doing. So that's a very good point that you have raised.
Yeah. And regarding the time management thing, that one last month which I had in after February to March, I was doing at least 2 mock in a day.
Excellent.
I made sure 2 mocks in a day. And also, it's not like I just gave the mocks. Whatever answers I gave, after that I check like what wrong went. What is my thought process which went wrong. So I changed that thought process. It's not like in part 1, they are judging what we are thinking as a dentist. So in multiple choice questions, there are always 2 options into which we are confused.
Yes.
So if we are going into wrong direction, you check again and see what is wrong. Because if we do not correct it, then you will feel like, why I'm failing. So better to correct that.
Absolutely true. I agree with that. And also now you have finished your part 1, and I'm going back to that time when you got your result. Of course, that day was also very, very, very happy day. I think you cleared it in the first attempt itself. Yeah. That's really good. So did you have any study partners when you were studying, or you didn't have the time at all?
Honestly, in part 1, no. I was doing on my own only. And I was just thinking that way. In that 1 month, I do whatever I can do. And after exam also, I felt at the time I did not communicate it much, like it's very hard and everything. Nothing negative in a way. So that helped me, like that kept my mind very calm. And after giving my exam also, I was went back. I just went back to my job, so I was busy. So when the results came, okay, everything is good. It was like that.
No, that's excellent. It is indeed a sigh of relief, isn't it? All right. So now we've done our part 1. You're still in India, aren't you? Like you gave your part 1 from India?
Yes.
And now came the big switch. You moved from India to Australia. Now look, this is a very interesting part of our conversation, which many, I think, girls go through as well. It's a cultural shock. It's a difference of a world altogether, isn't it? So talk about, your journey. We'll talk about the part 2 preparation in a while. Talk about your journey of coming from India to Australia, how you found a job as a DA, what were your thought processes, and when did you start preparing for the part 2? After how long after clearing your part 1?
My part 1 results came, I gave in March, so around April, May. So afterwards, the visa process was there. So I got my visa around in September. So I came here in last October. And after coming here, in the beginning, I was just being comfortable over here, going what is going on around here. I was just experiencing that. And I wanted to first do a job as a DA just to see how clinic works over here. I didn't apply yet for the part 2. Before that, I wanted to work as a DA. So, and in October only the first session for which we are applying in part 2. So I wanted to apply at that time, but I was a bit confused. Should I apply, not apply? And I was totally new as well. I didn't know any coachings for the part 2. So I was just looking for a job. So for around 1 month, I was applying, not getting back. The responses were not coming because obviously I was an overseas dentist. So they are like, you will go for your exams and afterwards. So there is no permanent job. So, but still there are few clinics which are happy to help you out as well. So you just have to go on applying. So after 1 month or so, I got my first job. So after that, I was getting used to the clinical environment over here and the role of DA. Now now I know how important it is. Like in India, it's not this important.
Exactly. It's a world of a change, isn't it? Like we don't look at things from this perspective that we look at from here. different. It's very different. Even with the part one preparation, the kind of subjects and the kind of topics we were learning, professionalism and all of these things, these are not certain things that we are taught, back in our countries. But nevertheless, yeah, we crossed that path. So you started working as a dental assistant, and do you think that helped you in your, in shaping up your preparation?
It helps you to think like you are DA, but you can see that person how he is talking to the patient. So the communication part is also helpful, and what treatment he is like giving the patient, what complaint he is coming to. So you will get familiar with all those things. And if you are like bit conscious about speaking to the patient as well, that also helps, because as a DA also it's not that extreme, but you have to have some word with the patient. So it makes you a bit comfortable with people around here as well.
Absolutely, you understand the language, you understand the accent. Because this
and what is the thought process of that person?
Exactly, because we always talk about, when you talk about ADC exams and also working as dentists here, patient-centered approach, isn't it? That's what we spoke about all the time in OSCEs as well. So now let's come to the part of your part 2 journey, which is a different ballgame altogether, isn't it? It's like, it is stressful, it is real, the stress is real. What did you do to calm yourself down, to get to that level where, I know, your journey hasn't been easy, especially with a lot of things, and I want to hear it from you. So let me know, let everyone know what you had to go through.
So as I mentioned, like I came here last October. So at the time only, I was confused between applying or not applying. And for a non-dental person, it's like they cannot understand. So my husband was like, you cleared part 1 in first attempt, so your part 2 will also be cleared. Just apply. I was like, okay, it's not that easy. And it's not his fault only. In my back of the mind, it's like, it's very hard. I cannot pass in first attempt. It's very hard. So that is also like giving me like self-negative talk something. So I shouldn't do that. And also I was very conscious about like I didn't know many people over here, not the classes. That even for the technical also I asked you where to go and everything. So when I booked in October, I got the date in May, but still the courses were not available till April, like March, April. So I did my technical course in the March, and also for me the communication part was the most like difficult, because for me as a person as well, I'm not very much talkative, so it's very difficult for me to start talking. Thankfully I had
I remember we used to talk so much. Well. I used to say, Bhagyashree, come on, more empathy, more emotions. You can't be just flat-faced. But yes, you have worked tremendously hard, and it's not just me. It's other candidates who have messaged me saying that, she has really worked hard, and we can see that world of a difference. So yeah, go on.
Yeah. So in my first attempt, actually the thing was I was conscious while presenting. So why I failed the rooms is like I know stuff, like as you know, the content was not an issue. So the way I was talking to them, the presentation of the case, that was an issue. That's why they didn't pass me in the OSCEs. After like first attempt, I was like just contact. I didn't focus on contact at all. I was continuously focusing on how I'm saying, how I'm talking to the other person, if he's like able to understand me or not. That was the thing. And also I focused on clusters, like how we can clear that cluster if the cluster 1 is there. So it's info gathering. So I literally focused on that part only. I didn't ask any not related questions or anything. Okay. So that I can have a rapport, like conversation. Yeah. That's very important.
And how helpful were the OSCE sessions that we conducted? I know you're going to say, and believe me, I want you to say it from your heart, because not everything has to be, it's your hard work, honestly. Yes, we work with so many candidates, but not everyone, has success in the first go. So, what is your biggest takeaway?
Yeah. So for me, I didn't know anything about OSCE. Honestly, I didn't know the full form as well.
Yeah.
So when I joined you, after that only I had like what is a cluster, how we are going to have like exam, what we have to do for that. Every case, each and every case we discuss that way, like the subject wise as well. And afterwards, when we do the role plays, we mix it up so that we have that, okay, we can talk about different things at the same time as well. So that is the most important thing, that your lectures were according to the subjects. So you first make sure these things are clear. After that, you mix it up so that any role plays will be with an ease. So that is one advantage for me. And also the lectures, it's not like after the lectures you do your role plays and it's finished. Whenever we have to, like, suppose my exams are after 3-4 months, so we can have a discussions at that time, so it's fresh for us. All those things are very helpful according to me. And also we have different mentors like Dr. Vishal and Sharif. They are also wonderful.
He does bring in does bring in that spice factor, you told, because
definitely. I know I was a bit scared of him, but it's helpful for us.
Obviously, absolutely, because like I said, you have all sorts of patients. There are going to be patients when you start working as well: angry, upset, disappointed, happy, anxious. So these are all real scenarios, real things that we are going to be dealing with, which is what they make us ready for, right? The real world. So no, thank you so much for your kind words. I know your journey has been very difficult, but the hard work you've put in is tremendously, like, it's so good. You never gave up. What was your mental? Sorry.
Yeah, that is what I was.
Yeah, I wanted to know from you. This is a thing a lot of people struggle with: their mind, their focus. What did you go through?
So, like when I gave mocks to you, at that time only you mentioned like whatever is happening in one room, it should not go to the other room. Like when you come out of the room, you should not think like, I forgot to say this, that examiner was not good. And it happened. In first attempt, it was smooth. The examiners were not that rude or anything. So I didn't had that bad experience. But when I went for the second attempt, I remember my first room was like, the examiner, when I entered the room, he smiled, everything was good. But when the time was start, he was another person. So I thought, okay, I just calmly tried to manage that patient. I forgot about like, I have to say this. I just tried to manage it. And subsequently, like 3 OSCE rooms. First 3 OSCE rooms were not good because the examiner were difficult to handle. Still, I tried to like, okay, let me just talk to him.
Yeah.
If he is able to understand or not. If he is not, I will repeat that thing. That only I did. And after coming back, I knew so many things were missed in those cases. But still, I didn't thought of it. I was like, I'm pass in those rooms. I'm pass. I just have that thought in my mind. I'm pass. That only. I'm not going to fail this time. I just had that thought. And the other 7 rooms, all are passed, and because of that only my exam is passed.
Yes, no, I understand. See, your positivity affects your conduct on the day of the exam, and that's what you were positive.
Yeah.
You kept telling yourself, it's fine, I'm going to perform my best in the next room. So that's amazing. It's so lovely to hear your journey, Bhagashi. Sorry, did you have to say something?
Yeah, that's fine. Like it's not only on the exam day. I would say after exam as well. After your exam is finished, do not say anything like, yeah, this exam was difficult, that examiner was not letting me say. He's just doing his job, he's acting. So don't let it affect. And those things were there in my mind, but I didn't want it to let it out. Like I didn't want to say anything negative to anyone. So that's why I didn't talk to anyone on that day. Like not my friend. So, sorry, I didn't talk to you as well on that day because I was not in that zone. Like I didn't want it to say anything negative, so I just isolated for 2 days. Okay, this has happened, I have done my role. Now I will just enjoy my thing. So I just waited very calmly with the results. Last time I got results in 3 weeks. This time it was not coming out. I was like, why is it taking I had my patience. Like, okay, it will come good, and it was fine. Good.
That is such a wonderful, journey that you've shared with everyone, because we all have dreams, which is why we are taking this step. And when it comes true, I'm sure you're feeling like
Relieved.
relieved, phew, I'm done now. Yes. Let's talk in the end a bit about the role that your family has played. And I know, people don't talk about it much, but what are the strengths that were there with you, which kept you strong? Not just yourself, of course, your own brain plays a very important role. But what were your strengths? What is it that
Yeah,
stayed
I
with
would say
you?
the backbone of everything. Because honestly, from the beginning of my journey, like part one as well, I didn't wanted to give in March. I wanted to give in September. My husband is like, no, give it. I know you will pass, and I passed. After that as well, it's him who pushes me.
Yeah.
Because after my first attempt, honestly, I didn't had that courage to apply again all of a sudden. Like,
Yeah.
because I got my results in May and I have to apply in June for part 2 second attempt.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if I'm ready or not. And he is like, you are passing technicals, you are passing this. You just have to focus on your communication. And like, he also helps me in that. Like, we have role plays every day, and whatever I'm doing now, he knows dentistry. So it's very like
They all learn
I
it.
would say he is there. That's why all of this can happen.
That's so beautiful. That is a wonderful thing, because if you have that kind of correct support, things become much more smooth. No,
Yes,
that was so nice, Bhagyashree. Believe me, even out of 100 people listening to this conversation, even if 2 people get inspired and they, work towards their
Yeah.
dream, our job is done. That's why we are having this conversation in the first place.
Yeah, definitely.
So I would like to thank you again. Thank you
Yeah.
for choosing us, for choosing it.
I would say thank you to you for having me, helping me throughout my journey, because you have been there since the beginning.
Yeah.
So I cannot thank you more.
No, that's enough. I mean, the fact that you have cleared this journey, you're out there now. I wish you all the best for your future, endeavors as well. And yeah, hope to bump into you in one of the CPD courses
Yeah.
now, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for being with us.
All right.
Thanks,
Thank
Bhagyashree.
you, ma'am. Thank you so much.